of the things that I've heard you also mention before is producing versus editing. And I think what's
Yeah.
interesting, and because I don't know, I mean, I think like, I only have my experience, what I've heard from others, but like producers are trying to produce a story, but once it goes to editing, what happens? Is your story produced? Is it sometimes completely different than expected? Or is there any say or control or communication between the two parties?
Absolutely. So during filming, at the beginning, when we first started doing The Bachelor, um, producers did everything. So my job would be to create the date, expedite the date by planning it. I got to book a helicopter. I got to book the Hollywood Bowl. I got to make sure that someone's performing, whatever. I would go on the date. I would interview them at the same time, and then that would all go back to editing. As TV moved on, as reality television moved on and got more successful, they started compartmentalizing these positions. So now there's always a story producer on set, either interviewing the cast or sitting in the control room watching the cast be interviewed or interact just in a regular scene. And those would be that story producer's taking notes for the edit. And it's highlighting hot buttons, hot moments, things that they like and don't. They can highlight it real quick. So then when it goes to the edit with that tape, it's easy for an editor to go, this is a cool moment. This isn't. You're easily transcribing and looking at that footage. At the beginning, they had transcribers that would sit and watch every moment of film that ever happened. So there was a whole bay of like 4 people that were always, when you'd walk by, just watching every moment of tape that was ever shot. So now it's in a place where you've got people editing it as they're watching it. So, and those are the people just sitting in the room. They might not be editors on an Avid machine or something that has the software, but they're just going, oop, highlight, love that, cool moment, teasable moment, super tease moment. Like all these things are happening. So that when me as an editor, I get that information, I just only look at those moments.
So you're not actually siphoning through the hours and hours of footage.
Absolutely not. And then story producers, as they come out of the field and go to the edit, story producers sit in front of an Avid and cut scenes themselves. So they'll take those moments that they've highlighted and written down as teasable cool moments or fun story arc moments, the beginning, middle, and end, and they'll cut it quickly themselves and then hand it off to an editor to polish and finish and make cool. And then it's like you've got 2 parties making the edits. You got the story producers who know the story because they were there or have been fed the information via a hot sheet that has been transcribed every day about what moments were great on camera that day. Or they were there and watched it and typed it themselves, and that's just going straight to editors. That editors now have become a little less hands-on or creative than they used to be because they're just polishing and making things pretty. And if they need a moment, they'll search for it, but they'll often just ask a story producer that's sitting down the hall to find that moment for them. And now technology's in a place where it's like, I need Nick saying, I'm so fucking over this. So I can just type in under Nick's, bucket or Nick's file over this, and I could find any moment you might have said that. Boom, there's that scene.
I probably
Boom,
said that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Or that it was that, or I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah, that. But I need to make it say, I can't wait to do this, as opposed to I'm fucking never doing this. So let's say I can't wait, and I need not fucking doing this, or to make my Frankenbit moment. Those things happen so quickly now.
Can you
Whereas
tell
back
everyone?
in the day, you'd have to literally go through beta tapes and go splice, make it. Now it's digital. Boop, boop, boop. I can match the voice, and I can't imagine what AI is going to do to this business.
Well, I can tell you, Michael, this Riverside that we use to record, I shouldn't say the name because it's free advertising, but where we're recording, they actually have a AI voice right now. Well, they'll go into a video and they'll take my voice and then I can copy in a script and it'll record my voice using AI. It's like 95% how I sound. It doesn't get all the inflections right, but if I put a long, and I tried it with like a LinkedIn post that I wrote, I put it in there and I listened to it. I'm like, this sounds like me, except it's a little off on some of the inflections. So they can definitely do that.
That's unbelievable. But imagine it if you're, next year, a contestant on Love is Blind and they want a Frankenbit moment. They can almost create it with AI. They can't create something you haven't said, but the AI can search all of the data they have of Nick speaking inside of a computer or in a database and go, boop, let's just make a new conversation.
Oh yeah.
It's easier.
And
It's
an
quick. It can happen
audience.
in a moment, whereas like you used to have an editor doing it for a week. I need Nick
Yeah.
to say all these things. Now it's like, here you go.
And then as an audience member, if it's like a line or two, they wouldn't notice the inflection difference because they don't know me very well, right? But like someone who knows me and
Absolutely.
how I talk and stuff, or myself, would know what those are. That's crazy. I worry about AI, but we don't have to get into that. I think
I
it's
know,
it's
but it's in
gonna
a, you
it's
know, to watch for Frankenbites as a reality TV fan, the astute reality TV fans know that if they cut away from Nick's face in this interview moment right here, and you still hear him talking, that might not be exactly what he said, or that might not be when he said it. But with AI and things coming and technology, there's going to be ways to make your mouth move and make
mm-hmm.
it look like you're saying it on camera. It's going to be crazy.
And it's
Because
gonna
they
be
own your
totally
image
wild.
and your word, so they can't make you say something you haven't and put that in your mouth. But if you said it, they can piece it together and make it, so it's fine. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so crazy. Well, this
Yeah,
is
it
a good
is.
place to bring up the you signed up for it, which you mentioned a little bit
Okay.
earlier. So, I get that a lot, and I'm not going to preach. I think there are things you do sign up for, but until you go through it and experience it yourself, you don't really know what you signed up for. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, including like the manufactured environment. You don't know that you're going to be stuck in a hotel room for days at a time that you can't leave. You don't know what
Right.
it's going to be like without the normal structure of your life and, being able to take
And
walks,
no
go to the
phone and no
bathroom. And
contact and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So what do you think about people who speak out and say I was wrong or I was misedited or misrepresented, and then people that say, well, you signed up for it?
Yeah, and I've left the business for the most part. I still do things like this, and I still like being involved, but I don't produce as a
Mm-hmm.
profession. So having left the business, I have a lot more compassion for the cast members, and especially the types of shows that I went through, because I know how specifically manipulative it can be. Um, so now I'm way more less apt to say, sorry, you signed up for it, because it is, like you said, a whole new world that they're not used to. And it should be a little more transparent for them going in, because it's a lot. But that being said, if I was producing television right now, I might have a completely different opinion, because I
Mm-hmm.
know what I've got to get in 4 weeks, and I know the budget I have to get it. So, do I have the time to walk these people through this and give them a moment when they arrive to show them how things are going to go? And like, even that amount of time is eating into my budget and my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a psychologist on set and to have all of these things that would help creates a budget model that might not work. So that's a difficult animal. But no, you signed up for it is not something I would often say anymore, because it is, I know what it is to be a cast member on these shows, and it's rough. Sometimes of course, the majority of the time it's an amazing experience, and it's something the majority of the country doesn't and the world doesn't get to do. So yay for you. But the people that have a hard time coming out of it, it's really difficult for me to say,
Yeah.
you signed up for it. Sorry, you got screwed, buddy. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's just not
Yeah.
like
To
that anymore.
like
But
guys like
but
Matthew.
yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's awful to do to someone.
Thank you for listening to this clip from the full episode of Eyes Wide Open. Please like and subscribe for daily clips and new episodes that drop every Tuesday. I appreciate you.